When I am around people who are sick, and they are all coming down with something, I sometimes put up a barrier to keep the germs from coming into my body. Is that possible to do that?
Do you do it?
I try to practice it. I believe it, but is it a fact?
Has it worked?
Yes.
Well?
I just mentally put up a barrier that the germs can't go through.
If you believe in germs, and believe in your ability to shield yourself from germs through a barrier, if you believe these two things, then doing it is a snap. You could choose to simply not believe in germs.
Are they real?
Not in the way that you and the medical doctors think they are.
Then how are they?
Well, they're fine.
Well, you say they're not real in that way.
They don't cause diseases. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be playing with you, but it's so much fun to play with you. The germ theory of disease is simply another theory. As you know, people create their own diseases for their own purposes. Germs are a handy scapegoat. If you simply don't believe that they can harm you, then of course, they won't. But that takes a good bit of belief in a world in which they have been seen as a scientific explanation for diseases. In actual fact, the older explanations of possessions by devils and so on were closer to the truth. Not that people are possessed by devils, but that emotional and spiritual and relationship concerns and problems and stress are actually the causes for disease. Germs have had a lot of bad press.
But they have been observed in a laboratory under the microscope.
They exist in the laboratory. They're just not the reasons why people create illnesses for themselves.
What about epidemics?
As you know, when groups of people are involved in mass events, they have all chosen to participate in the mass event. And they have chosen that particular event for their own purposes, most generally as an example, a lesson of some sort, to the remainder of the individuals in that vicinity.
I'm thinking specifically of diseases like the Black Death. They said it was caused by fleas on the rats and it spread all over Europe at that time, killing everyone.
Bad press for rats and fleas.
You think because they believed this, that is why it spread?
That, and the fact that they had their other particular reasons for being involved in such an event.
We've heard that laughter is the best medicine. Can you give the why?
The why laughter is the best medicine is that laughter, at least momentarily, provides you with a positive sense of joy and well-being, provides you with instant health.
Then that means that sorrow or sadness is detrimental to the system?
Inappropriate prolonged sorrow or sadness is medically defined as depression, which is detrimental to the ultimate well-being of the vehicle and those with whom they come into contact. Sadness or sorrow as an appropriate emotional response to an event or a situation is not detrimental to the being. The repression of such emotion or the negation of such emotion is more detrimental than the experiencing and showing of appropriate emotional reaction.
The natural expression of emotions is good for you?
Right.
It's the blocking of these emotions that causes the diseases, the malfunction.
That's a simplistic way of describing block, but accurate insofar as it goes.
That means that it is good to even experience anger.
Yes.
How do these cells view us as a body? Do they have a way of perceiving us? They live inside of us.
They sense that they are a part of a larger organism, the same way that we sense that we are part of an oversoul, that some vague sense of belonging which occasionally occurs. The cells appreciate it more often than we do, because they can appreciate and be acquainted with that feeling just by normal functioning. If your liver is operating well and doing the things that it is supposed to do, it enjoys a sense of well-being which, were it able to be conveyed to you as an individual intellect, would bring an awareness of joy that most of us unfortunately do not experience very often.
So, I do think this is really interesting because, this is all about energy, right? And the mere fact that we have so much control over everything, and we've been told throughout our lifetimes to look outside of ourselves for cures and for everything else, and all of a sudden you realize actually the power lies within.